Shorten out. Ah! Hello again. Cut! Cut it off! Well, hello. Well, I've got a wee fantastic story for you today. And it's a story about a poor wee man who felt as if he could not change. Imagine that. Crying all the time and saying, I'm me and I cannot change. Crying and crying and crying. And he'd have a drink, a wee bottle of wine, and he'd be drinking away, and crying that he cannot change, Now, imagine that. Imagine thinking that you can't change. Isn't that a strange thing? Well, one day, when the little man was sitting crying away outside, he was sitting on a wall on the park, and he was crying as he's drinking his little wine, and he's thinking, I'm me, and I cannot change it. Tears are going down his face, and I don't believe it. And all of a sudden, a little red Indian man came round the corner, and he says, what's the matter with you? Crying all over the place. What's the matter with you? Oh, says so. I'm me and I can't change. Well, says the little red Indian chief, I'm going to tell you a story. And the story is about the American red eagle. Now, the American red eagle is the biggest eagle, the big eagle. It's got the big wings, and it flies, and it's the king of the sky. Everywhere it goes, flies about the place. It can fly faster than all the other birds. It's bigger than all the other birds, and if it wants to, it can eat all the other birds. There you are, what about that? Now, when the eagle gets older, its fingernails get longer, and they call them its talons. Its fingernails, its talons get longer and bigger and sharper, so that when it's flying, if it looks down to the lake and it sees a fish, it can pop straight down with its claws, grab up and pick up that fish and take it away, and it can eat it so it can. Now, an eagle has a big bent nose, just like that. A beak, it bends like that. That's right. And so it can peck at its food, and it can tear its food and eat it all up. Well, when it gets 5, 6, 10, 15 years old, 20 years old, all those feathers that it's growing are growing bigger, thicker and heavier, so that by the time that red eagle, the red Indian eagle, by the time it's 40 years of age, it can only fly a little bit, then it has to stop, because you see, it gets very tired. It's too old. Its feathers are too heavy, and it can't really fly. But even worse, it can't even pick up the fish anymore. It can't get a fish because its fingernails, its talons are so long that they curve all the way over like that. They curve like that. So it can't get it into the fish anymore. It keeps dropping the fish. It's flying. It sees a fish. It thinks, that'll do. And it goes down to get the fish. And it can't pick it up because its fingernails are all turned in. And that's a very, very sad state of affairs. Very, very, very sad. Now, the eagle, when it's lucky enough to get a fish, now it can't eat the fish. Why can't it eat fish? Because its nose starts off like that, and it gets rounder and rounder, and it ends up its nose looking like that. It goes all the way over, the nose goes all the way over, and it starts to go to the chin. Look at that. What a sad thing to happen to you. Poor wee bird. Now, what is it a bird to do? It can't pick up its food. It can't eat its food. And it can't hardly even fly anymore because its feathers are so heavy, and it's in a terrible, terrible situation. Well, what happens? Let me tell you. When they become 40, most of the eagles just die. If they've not already died from different situations in life, they just give up and die. But some of the eagles will make a decision And the decision is to change. I'm going to change this. So the eagle will look at the highest bit of the cliffs. Oh, in America, all these big cliffs and the big mountains, and it'll look at the highest bit that it can go at, and it'll fly up high, somewhere it will be safe. Nobody can get at it. So it can go on a ledge, on the cliff, and it sits on the ledge. And it gets up there and it makes a decision that says, this is going to be hard, this is going to be difficult, but I need to do this. And it takes its big bent nose and it bangs it off the rock, just like that. Boom, until its nose falls off. Blah, 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 blah. Nose falls off. Nose on the floor, on pieces. What can you do now? What it does, it begins to get into its mouth. Its fingernails, and it bites them off. It goes one off, two, and it bites all his fingernails off. Oh my God. Oh, the blood's everywhere. Fingernails are off. Nose is off. Now, it looks at its big feathers and it starts to bite its big feathers off. It bites them off, it bites them off, and it takes all its feathers off, and it's up there with no feathers. Can't fly. He's broke his nose now. No nose to hook, to break his food up for him. And no fingernails. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Well, the big eagle stays on the cliff until all his feathers begin to grow back. And by the time his feathers have all grown back, nice new feathers, not the old heavy ones, nice new feathers, and all the fingernails grow back. Ah, look at that. And his nose has all fixed itself and grown back. And now he goes, look at me, what a change. And it looks up and it flies up. And it flies away, and it goes down, and it catches a fish, and it eats up a fish, and it lives for another 20 years. What about that, hey? Sure, you can change.